Well, you may recognize my next guest from his roles in film and television, including Desperate Housewives, Suits, or as easily one of the best villains on the show Yellowstone. Now, Neal McDonough stars in the new indie thriller Guns N' Moses in theaters July 18th, which explores the rise of anti-Semitism and the theme of Jewish self-defense. The film follows a gunslinging Hasidic rabbi in a dusty desert town on the search for the culprit behind an anti-Semitic attack on his synagogue. Neal joins me now to talk about the film and its message. Neal, it's great to have you here today.
Thanks for having me on, Justin. Appreciate it.
Not all actors want to be part of faith-based content today. Was that angle important to you when taking on this role?
Well, I think everyone knows that that's kind of my angle, period. So, yeah, I love to grapple with the ideas of faith, and I think we all do. What doesn't matter what religion or what belief you have, you're always grappling with all kinds of things. And I love when you get to be part of a film, whether I'm the good guy or the bad guy or the writer or just the actor, or whatever the case is, to be part of films that make you think. And the independent film world is the world that I love so much. I love being part of the smaller films where I'm trying new things and we're working things out. And there's a common theme or thread to the films that I love to be part of, and they all have a bit of faith to them. The Last Rodeo, the film that just came out last month, and now it's doing so well on Apple TV and Prime and everything else, talks about family and faith without slamming you over the head. And I think families love to go to movies together to be entertained and to not have to worry about covering eyes and ears with the kids or the parents or the grandparents at times, and talk about faith and talk about how you can overcome. For me, I had to overcome certain things in my life to be where I am today. And, whether it was alcoholism or whatever, other things that I've had to overcome. To overcome certain things, I could only get through them with my faith. And it's at times that I stumbled in my life that I wasn't really focused on my faith, where I was more focused on just myself, that I got into trouble.
What can you tell us about your character in this story?
The mayor is very concerned about not just his neighborhood and his people in his city, but a certain type of people that he's very close with. And that's a Jewish faith. And my character isn't Jewish. And there's a relationship there. There's a strong bond there that goes on. And I think that America was built on this Judeo-Christian thought and agreement and contract almost. But it's not just Judeo-Christian. Now there's millions of Muslims who live in America, and there's people from all over the world from different ideas and different beliefs. My parents are immigrants from Ireland. This country is built on immigrants, and immigrants bring in different ideas and different thoughts, different foods, different ways to work, different ways to do things. And there's no one way that is the right way or the wrong way. The only really one way that is the right way is to do things that give glory to him and not make it about yourself. That's why I love doing films like Guns N' Moses, where it makes you think, how can I make the world a better place?
Well, you've touched on this earlier, how you've been cast as the villain and you've had the opportunity to play the good guy in films. From playing such different characters over the years, what have you learned about the human experience and the way that we treat each other?
Wow, that's a really good question, Justin. I have been really blessed to be able to play everything. And Reve says, "You're just famous enough, honey. Don't mess that up." So I get to, every time you see me in a movie or a TV show or documentary or a commercial, whatever the case is, I always want to make it believable. My dad said, when you go out to Hollywood, if they give you $1, give them $2 worth of effort. And I pride myself on really digging deep with my characters. But to be able to be part of films where now we get to build them through faith and make you think about things without being overtly slam you over the head with a certain message. You see someone grapple with certain problems in their lives, and how do they get through it? They couldn't get through that by themselves, but when they find faith in him, great things can happen. And those are the motifs that I love to play with, because that's really what life is about, isn't it? If we give more to him and worry less about ourselves and serve more instead of being served, well, then you're doing your job as a child of God to make the world a better place. And that's what we're trying to do in the McDonough Company, and it's working so far. And I love having all the people that have been emailing us, or I go through the airport and have so many people stop me and say, "We love what you're doing and what you stand for." And here's a guy who's played more villains than just about anybody. And to have people come up to me, and sometimes in tears saying, "Thank you for standing up and making films that glorify him.
That's what it's
It's
all
really kind of
about. Those
it's
moments, I
really
bet.
yeah,
Yeah, that's got to be amazing to feel.
it is, I've cried in more airports than most people because of, some
For
of the
different
words that I've heard
reasons,
from
probably other
for
people
different
missing their
reasons.
flights.
I love you, Neil, but wait a minute, I'm a horrible human being on screen most of the time. Because yes, but we know what you really are.
Well, I'm definitely grateful that you are in these kinds of movies and that you're doing such a great job at bringing these issues into the light and into the minds of everybody. Thank you so much for being here, Neil. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait for everybody to go and watch this movie. Again, it's Guns N' Moses in theaters Friday, July 18th. Here, we'll have to have you back when you're promoting your next film, okay?
Love to.
All right,
Thank you,
that's a
Justin.
promise.
Appreciate
Thank
the
you so
time.
much.